I mean, this is getting crazy. It's getting crazy. The amount of things that the president is doing right now in the window that he's been in office is extraordinary. We look at the Biden administration and the 4 years of absolutely nothing and destruction, and we look at the week of Donald Trump, and we are seeing serious change. Good evening, everybody, and tonight on Wagon's World, Trump's federal grant freeze is sending shockwaves through Washington. But to be clear, this is great news for American taxpayers. It's not just a symbolic move. Trump initially set federal grants and loans and the federal grants and loans freeze to take effect today. Thanks to the federal judge's intervention, it has been extended until Monday at 5 Eastern. This is part of a massive spending overhaul aimed at eliminating waste, fraud, bloated programs, and other things that have been draining taxpayer dollars for years. This is a federal government that has told the American people that we went into Afghanistan because there was weapon of mass destruction. This is a government that prioritizes equity over equality. This is a federal government that expects you to trust it after decades and decades of lies, of cheating, and stealing from its people. It's disgusting. And this man is coming in and he is laying down the fucking law. And that's how we're supposed to take it. He is not a politician. He is a businessman. He sees numbers and he sees that they suck. He sees that we spend money on stupid shit and he's tired of it. This is why he steps in and he gets the job done. He signs executive order after executive order. For what? Because he's putting the American people first. Again, this is cutting waste, fraud, and bloated programs that have been draining our hard-earned taxpayer dollars for years. For years. And the federal government is just throwing money away. So, with that, the media wants you to believe that this freeze, is going to impact everybody. Someone's not going to get their food stamps tomorrow. Someone's not going to have their Social Security come. This does not impact individuals receiving federal aid. It specifically targets non-essential federal grants and loans that have been funneled into questionable projects and bureaucratic waste. Of course, the deep state fought back. A federal judge just paused Trump's grant freeze, citing, shockingly, with entrenched bureaucrats who think that the money belongs to them. But this is just the beginning, and Trump isn't backing down. And this fight is far from over. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is offering buyouts to federal employees who refuse to return to the office. The same people who've been working remotely while productivity plummeted. The government is a jobs program for itself, and Trump is cleaning house. If these bureaucrats don't want to do their jobs in person, they could take a buyout and get out of the way. They have until the middle of February to sign off on this deferred resignation, and they can work from home productivity free until September. Trust me, working from home is not like working in the office. And I'll leave it there. For those of you who work from home, you know what I'm talking about. The message is clear. Either work or walk. Over at the White House press room, Karoline Leavitt just had her first press briefing, and conservatives are rallying around her. And why wouldn't they? She didn't just hold her own. She obliterated the press when she dropped the bombshell that illegal immigrants with criminal records are still being released into the country under Biden's failed policies. And the media couldn't handle it. Instead of addressing the reality of the border crisis, they resort to eye-rolling and deflection. A reporter from NBC asked her, "How are you separating the bad ones from the good ones?" They're all bad ones. It's a federal crime to enter this country illegally. What happened to our morals? What happened to caring about the nation that is the greatest in the world? What happened to defending it? We just let these people in. And we don't vet them. We don't know what diseases they have. I'm sure they're fine people. I'm sure they are. But there's a way, a legal way. There's a port of entry, and they should use it. But here's the thing. The facts don't lie, and neither does Karoline Leavitt. She's sharp, she's fearless, and doesn't take nonsense from the active press. This isn't your typical press secretary. This is somebody who actually calls out media bias in real time. Something that is synonymous with Trump administrations. And naturally, the press corps hates her for it. But here's the reality. She doesn't work for them. She works for you and me and all the American citizens. And that's what's got the establishment in a panic. And speaking of media, Jim Acosta from CNN has just announced his resignation today for a new independent show, claiming he won't be silenced. Silenced? Jim, you spent the last decade shouting over Republican presidents and getting praised for it. And now that you don't have CNN's corporate backing anymore, you're suddenly a free speech warrior? It doesn't add up. Give me a break. The only thing Acosta was ever good at was looking like a jackass. And I mean that wholeheartedly. But now he's just doing it on his own dime. And finally, Trump's swift and decisive leadership is changing the national mood. It's undeniable. The economy is already responding positively to his policies, law and order is being restored, and the deep state is on defense for the first time in years. The people who said Trump couldn't deliver, they're eating their words. Because this presidency is proving he isn't just talking, he's taking action, unlike the previous administration. So tonight, what have we learned? Trump's grant freeze is a win for taxpayers, even if the courts are trying to block it. The remote work excuse is over for you federal employees. Get back to the office. And Karoline Leavitt is shaking up the press room. It is a huge refreshment from what we had for the last 4 years between Karine Jean-Pierre and Jen Psaki. Trump's leadership is reshaping this country in record time. So tonight, I want you all to remember that this is Wagon's world, and we're all living in it together, baby. The truth rides shotgun, and the bullshit gets left in the dust. I'll see you next time.